Welcome to Advisors on Growth. I'm your host, Derek Colin. In today's episode, we have a special guest. Her name's Dana Miller. She is the CFO at Maiker Housing Partners. How you doing today, Dana?
I'm well. Thank you, Derek. I'm excited for this.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. So, can you share a bit about your role as a CFO and how it fits into the bigger picture over at Maiker?
Yes, so Maiker Housing Partners is a housing authority for the county of Adams, Colorado. So we are geographically limited to just this county. And Maiker has over 20 individual properties that we manage and own. We are a real estate developer as well as a low income housing provider. My role is to help manage cash, strategic planning, budgeting, the finance department, the procurement. We have over 110 employees, and our growth has been doubled in the last 8 years, and we're planning again on doubling in size in the next 5 years. We currently have over 2,000 individual units, property, so multifamily units, so apartments that we own and manage. And our intention is to continue to provide affordable housing for members of and for residents of Adams County, Colorado.
Awesome. That's very cool. Sounds like you guys got a lot going on, and yeah, you're doing really well. What major shifts you seeing in your industry right now?
I think one of the hardest things that we are experiencing, as you know, is the supply of affordable housing
Mm,
is well below the demand. And changes and threatened changes coming out of the administration are definitely putting pressure on our planning. And so what we're all of us in the industry are focusing on is what other avenues and what other ways can we explore to influence development and growth. And so we're talking at the local level, right?
mhm,
So politically at the local level, then regional and state, and then national.
mhm,
And helping leaders understand, political leaders understand what the constraints we have, and helping them enact legislation that empowers us to be able to do our job. Districting, or what do you call it?
redistricting or
Well, not redistricting, but not allowing homes to be developed in particular areas, right? Oh, so we've got the NIMBYism, right? Not in my backyard type of folks who come out and say, we don't want you building here. But we also have regulations that limit our ability to develop in particular areas. So
uh,
no multifamily housing in this residential area. And so we're constrained in that respect. Financing did get better actually in the bill that was passed over the summer last year. I think it was the One Big Beautiful Bill. Our financing opportunities were expanded a bit. We use for much of our investments and our financing something called LIHTC, which is, of course, a governmental acronym, stands for Low Income Housing Tax Credits, right?
mhm,
So you have an investor come in, and a lot of times you have investors, large banks, I'll use Wells Fargo or KeyBank or
mhm,
other nonprofit developers. But the Wells Fargo's and KeyBank, they have mandates that they need to be involved at the community, right? They have community investment directives. And so they are motivated to invest in helping develop low income housing because of this low income housing tax credit program, where they will invest in the project, and their investment is recouped to them by losses in the project that
mhm.
them tax credits over 10 years. So they could put in $30 million, they get their 30 million out, or they get it back through tax credits. And in the meantime, we've just added another 200 affordable units in the community. And Yeah, and so it's a win-win. We get the financing that we need, or we get the funding that we need to be able to develop the project. They don't provide all of the funding. There's other sources of funds as well through community development block grants and home funds that are granted by the counties. We, as an organization, also invest in these projects, and so we loan money to the projects to
Mm.
help build them. And so we have projects from 70 units, actually even as small as 42 units, up to 230 units. And so, and that's our intention. And the thing is that the reason we even call ourselves Maiker Housing Partners versus Adams County Housing Authority is housing authorities traditionally have a negative persona in the marketplace. People
Mm.
have particular impressions of what housing authorities are.
Mm.
And when so we've rebranded, and many housing authorities in the Colorado and Utah region have rebranded so that the stigma is not associated with our title. And yet also, when people start to come and view the properties that we build, they're astonished. They're like, "Wow, these are gorgeous properties," right?
Yeah.
And that's what we believe is, listen, people do not choose most people do not choose to be in the situation they're in. A lot of times, it's their background, their history, or circumstances, or healthcare that has put them where they are in the low income realm. And so it's not they deserve dignity, they deserve respect, and everyone deserves a home. And so that's what we do, is provide that for them.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's noble, to provide people a home, especially when they're, trying to, move towards, a new career or advance, and help their families, and they're contributing to society. It's always a good thing, you know. So for those who are out there listening that, may need assistance, what would you say to them? What's the unique value proposition in terms of what you guys do for the community?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. So the first thing that we do is provide safe, affordable housing for members of the community. And oftentimes our members are workforce housing. They're teachers, they're firefighters, they're just people that, because housing costs are so extreme, living finding a place to live and being able to afford living in these places is really difficult. And so that's what we provide, is that value. And so we work with folks at what's called 60% of area median income, right? So
Mm.
a family of four can be making $50,000, and that's a requirement to be able to live in one of our homes. And
Mm.
then once someone comes to live with us, of course, we've got additional services. We have a whole program in our organization called Family and Community Vitality. And
Mhm.
so the focus of that is to provide resource navigation, and that is helping folks who live with us have access to transportation, medical care, education, job and workforce resources,
Yeah.
and mental health care. So we provide, access and just resources of where can you get access to some of this,
Mm.
and food support, right? We also do bring in, we partner with Food Bank of the Rockies, and we provide food a weekly basis to 9 of our properties. and
Mhm.
and we have food boxes, and we have people can just come and get. We're paying for this, and we also have grants that support it, that just give people access to groceries. So that's one thing. Another thing that this Family and Community Vitality Program does, we've done coordinated with the properties where we had purchased some land that we have yet to develop. So we donated the land to the properties, and they made a community garden. And with that community garden, they're of course farming it and growing all kinds of fresh vegetables all summer long. And so by the end of the year, they do a harvest festival, and that's for the whole community, not just for the residents of the properties that helped grow the food. Another
Mhm.
that we do in our family and community vitality is we work to create resident advisory councils and work with the folks who live in the properties to give them the voice and the structure to
Mhm.
take that voice and do with it what they want. They can take it to city council, they can take it to the state legislature, they can bring it to organizations in the neighborhood where they're looking for support, or they're looking for services, or they're looking for ways to express what their needs are. And so providing this
Ecosystem, all
e- thank
inclusivity.
you, yes, perfect, perfect ecosystem for them to be able to do, to bring their voices together and advocate for themselves. It-
Yeah.
because they have power, they just don't recognize it.
Yeah, do you ever hear about any success stories where you have a family, they have a medium income, and they were able to kind of excel their careers, and is that at that point do they get off of the program?
They can, yes. We have one program called FSS, it's Family Self-Sufficiency. It's a brilliant program. It's for folks who are on what's called a 5/8 voucher, which is a Section 8 voucher. And you can join this program. It's a 5-year program. You're given mentoring, you're given budgeting skills, and of course, access to training so that as they increase in their revenue, their
Mhm.
rents are not increasing, but the government, as their pay increases, the government matches their pay increase, and it's put in a special account for them. If they successfully complete the program, they've learned the budgeting process, they've learned management processes for living in homes and what have you. We've had folks graduate. It's absolutely fantastic. They graduate from the program and they've been handed, and I'm not kidding you, I've seen it happen, a $25,000 check. They can do with it what they want.
Mhm.
Generally, what they do is they take that and use it as a down payment on a home, right?
Oh,
So super
and that's
exciting stuff. So
and that's
yeah,
called a 5/8 voucher?
yep, yep, the section 50058. It's, typical government ease, but yeah, it's a Section 8 voucher. And so, yes, the Family Self-Sufficiency program is very successful. And it's just one of the populations we serve. We also have other vouchers. So we do low income, affordable housing, and then we also have an entire voucher program. And so that's our 5/8 vouchers. And we also, within that program, we serve foster youth. So
Mhm.
we have specific vouchers for foster youth to ensure that as they're coming out of the foster youth program, they need a place to live. So
Mhm.
18 and up, we've got specific units set aside for them. We've got emergency housing vouchers, which were originally designed during the COVID era
Mhm.
for folks that are homeless. And we were able to get them into homes. And now we are transitioning them from the emergency housing voucher over to the regular Section 8 vouchers. And there's multiple programs. We also have what's called VASH, which is Veterans Assistance Program. Again, same thing, veterans that needing a home, homeless veterans, and so forth. And
Yes.
we actually, now all of the vouchers that we issue, and we have over 1,500 vouchers that we issue. Anytime vouchers are opened up, or we have opportunity to issue vouchers, we commit to 10% of those vouchers going to homeless folks. So make sure that we're meeting the needs of folks in the community. And I can tell you, just to give you a small slice of the need in this community. The voucher program, the way it works is we have a waiting list, right? And so we open up the waiting list, and we can open it as often as we want, but the need is so great that we open it every couple of years, year to a couple of
Mhm.
years. Last time we opened it, which was a couple months ago, the list was open, the availability to sign up for a voucher for 3 days, I want to say 72 hours. We
Mhm.
had over 4,000 people apply in 72 hours. And again, we don't have that many vouchers available. We have 1,500 total allotted,
Yeah.
and of those allotted, many of those are already used. And so, yeah, the need, as you can see, is
Mm.
huge. And this is just Adams County, right?
Yeah.
So that's true for all of Colorado and the rest of the country. So the need is great for folks to be able to get support in finding and procuring and maintaining housing, affordable housing.
Yeah, definitely. And I would assume the requirements are US citizens that are established, or at least someone who has their green card and they came over.
They do need to be legal residents of the United States. And so, and we have, of course, it's a HUD program, Housing and Urban Development Program. So we follow all the regulations, rules and regulations that are established by HUD.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yeah, and so and we have a very good relationship with HUD. The folks at HUD, yes, it's a government agency, and yes, it can be bureaucratic. A lot of the bureaucracy is established at the congressional level and handed down to HUD, but the folks at HUD just as passionate and just as committed to helping people get and stay housed. So
Awesome.
they're a great team to work with.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for joining us on the Advisors on Growth podcast. Dana Miller, ladies and gentlemen, CFO at Maiker Housing Partners. If you want to check out the website, if you have a need and you're looking for, a good housing project that it's already been developed and you need a place to stay and you want access to all the amenities, that's a beautiful ecosystem, all inclusive in terms of services and things they provide, don't hesitate. Go into the description below, click on the link. That's makerhp.org, makerhp.org. Thank you, Dana.
Yes, thank you, Derek. I appreciate it.
Awesome.